it's really impossible for us to put ourselves into their shoes to know exactly all the different components of that decision that they have to make. And we're trying to not judge anybody for the decisions that they're making. And we're also trying to be very, very open, even when talking to our own players or staff or whoever it is. Let's be honest here. And where are you? What are your concerns? How can we create an atmosphere, if you are going to be here, to give you that peace of mind? I think it's this idea of not letting the fear of this take over either, to where you have faith in the process and you have faith in the people around you. That's going to be kind of a consistent message. But if people can't get past that and they're in a spot where they're stuck, then we need to listen. And then I think we do need to respect the decisions that they make, that they are the best decisions that they believe for themselves and their families.
I think you mentioned every morning they have to fill out on their phone some questions. Is that right?
Yeah, Pete, we have an app that we go to that goes through a list of questions, and then we take our temperature twice before we leave home. And then once we get to the ballpark, we have a face-to-face screening from safe distance, of course. We have a screening, and then we get our temperature taken 2 more times, and then we're given access to the stadium.
Okay. And like the test, I think I saw Colin McHugh. Is it a spit thing? It's not the Q-tips up the nose or whatever?
Thank goodness, yes. Yeah. I've got a little cotton mouth right now. I'm a little bit worried because I'm walking out of this room and going, and we're having our second round of testing again today. So it's more spit than what you think when you're not allowed having anything to drink for 30 minutes prior. So anyway, it very uninvasive. It's a pretty simple test, but it seems to be highly accurate. And, I think we need to pause and kind of, realize we've had some asymptomatic guys that this thing was able to catch. That's a pretty cool process. And I think that just goes to the validity and maybe the faith the guys take that the process is protecting them by catching something before it walks into our clubhouse. And let's get all going in the same direction, and then let's figure out ways to minimize the risk and then trust that system's going to protect us as good as possible. All right, Pete.
Coach, this is Taylor Lewis. In talking with players who may have concerns about playing this season, do you think the transparency that you showed yesterday about, saying, hey, I dealt with this, it was something that, it's hard to get through, I have more sympathy for it, can kind of help you in those conversations and guide you through how to advise a player?
Yeah, Haley, what it's done is I think it's taken some of the guys who may have been on the periphery, and this thing has kind of got them spooked a bit. For a variety of reasons, whether it's for them or their family. And then we were able to just talk it through because, I think, knowledge is power when it comes to this. There's so much information out there. I think it's sifting through what is in fact and fiction. And so just going through my own individual situation, and then how we navigated this through this with our medical team. And I think it's just giving guys also, and we're going to have a conversation again today with all the players. And, I think we got to be really careful not to live in this space of fear either. And to me, the antibody to that fear is a faith. And I mentioned to the group earlier, it's a faith in the process, and it's a faith in the people around you that they're going to do the right thing, and that we have as good and safe of a place to show up here to every day if everybody buys in to just doing what we can do. And then once we do that, we don't have to walk around in that. We walk around in respect, but not in the fear. And that respect for this, respect for each other. And then we go out and we do our business, still keeping that respect in mind. And I think when you hear that people have been directly affected in here, I think it just brings a level of reality to it that maybe people haven't been faced with before. Even though we see it and we hear about it, when you can have those personal conversations about it, I think it also just helps the clarity, but also the urgency of where we go from here.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Haley.
Anybody else?
Wait,
Hey,
I'll ask
Mike.
a question.
Go ahead, Haley.
Well, Harold, did you need to go?
Yeah, I mean, you go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead, Harold.
was
I'll go after you.
Okay. Hey, Mike. I know this is a little on the field stuff and a little early to tell, but I know there's a few maybe competition battles, if you will, at certain positions. Again, early to tell, but was there any ones that you were just intrigued to watch, if you will, that just how they're developing, and then maybe they can compete to have a playing role in a season where you probably have to have a lot of people to use because of that taxi squad and everything else going on?
Yeah, Harold, that number increased when we went from 26 to 30. And so, that is part of the conversations we've had with the guys, kind of hearing noise that this might happen. Just making sure that they walked in with the idea that, hey, I got a shot to be a part of this club. And then to be honest with them too, we do have some young players in here that are part of development. And I think it's going to be a huge part of their growth overall and their development being around here. But the majority of the guys that are here are in here fighting for a spot on this team, being one of those 30, to be part of that taxi squad that has to be, their name has to be part of the conversation if we do need some help. At some point, I imagine we're going to need help. And so what we tried to do, Harold, is commit as a staff that will use what we saw in Surprise as a foundation. But we're not going to end there. We're going to stay open. We're going to stay really positive with what we know these guys could potentially turn themselves into. And we're already seeing people take advantage of that. The things that they needed to work on, they've worked on, and they're getting better. So to me, every time we're seeing these lives, especially when we start on Tuesday, it's just going to put them in a spot to shine and do your thing. Show us, prove it, go out there and fight, because this is a club where you're going to have opportunity, maybe like never before. So make the most of it, and let's try and be honest evaluators of who's going to be part of that group of 30. Gives us our best shot when we head to Cleveland.
Haley, go ahead.
Coach, that was kind of along the same lines for me. Just seeing if you guys, I know it's only been a couple of days, but if you feel like you've picked up upon the momentum that you guys developed in Surprise, and if it's realistic to even pick up where you left off.
Haley, I wasn't sure if that would even be anywhere close to realistic, and I am blown away. And I think as you guys get your eyes on them yourself more, you're going to agree. We all are, I think we're honest evaluators of where we are, and I think we owe that to try and keep everybody healthy. Let's see where these guys are. Like, you know what, it's not quite there. They are ready to go, and that's a very large majority. Would I say uniformly for every single player? There's no. I think there's a couple guys. And we knew a little bit of that, whether it was lack of opportunities to get out and throw lives, or, they got shut down for a period of time, whether it's family reasons, personal reasons, or whatever it was that would hold them back. There were some guys who might be just a click off. But for the most part, I'm blown away at how much, physically they seem on time, ready to go. And the second part of that, which was really going to be hard to tell until you get them in a group and you start competing, even like in live VPs, where are their minds, right? Are they in here with fear and doubt and not even knowing, did they back off mentally to listen to some of the noise that we might not be playing at all? And it's hard to just flip the switch and turn that back on. But I want to tell you, you can't fake it when you're out there competing against some of the best talent in the world, which we have right here at Kauffman Stadium. These guys, they're there. And beyond, the coaches and I have sat in that room and talked about every single workout. Like, we were hopeful that we'd get somewhere close to where they are midway through this. The fact that we're starting at this point, it just speaks volumes about the kind of people we have, the character of this group. And I truly just tip my hat to our staff and our front office that continued to stay in contact, to answer questions, from the medical team to the strength team to our coaches, of just kind of encouraging these guys to don't back off, don't allow that to happen, because if we do not, we're going to have an advantage here, because the more ready they are, the faster we can get going, the harder we can push. and the better we can come out of the gate. And I don't think you could ask for anything more than that.
Thank you.
Is everybody good? As I mentioned earlier, this will be it for Mike today. We will have a couple of players in or around the workout later this morning, and we will be open from 12:30 till 2 for anybody who wants to come to the ballpark and shoot video or watch the workout. It will be the latter groups for that. So with that, that'll be it for today with Mike, and we will talk to you all later on.
All right, guys, have a great day.
Thanks,
Mike.
Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.